Whether or not he did that transformation 100% natural in the past, I don't care. I'm just happy he finally decided to come clean. Coach Greg in part 2 because I'm a freaking moron and I didn't press the record button. So yay, re-record the entire thing. And so Just Merc, he's 24 years of age. He made a video and said, guess what, everyone? I'm not actually natural. And I started taking PDs about a year and a half ago. And so you may or may not know, but I did a natty or not on this guy about 2 years ago, of which I said, this guy, he's not natural. Never believed it. So unless he was starving himself in the before photo, not eating any protein, and being completely inactive, that's the only way I could see a guy transforming from this to the after in only 2 years. Okay? It's not a normal, realistic expectation of muscle to put on in that period of time. And why did I say that? Well, because he went from 120 pounds age 17 to 5 years later being 180 ripped and shredded pounds. And during that time, after 2 years of training at the age of 19, he'd already had an award-winning physique. He already had a body better than Coach Greg, who I'd been training for 9 years. But perhaps I was wrong. I don't know. He's saying his first cycle was about a year and a half ago. How do we know it wasn't 3.5 years ago? 5 years ago? We don't know. It took him a year and a half to come clean and tell us he's on PDs, but he's finally decided to do so. You can believe that he did that 5-year transformation 100% natural, or you can think like I do and think, well, probably took some SARMs at some point during that cycle, but he later decided to go on a real big cycle later on.
At this stage, for me to turn pro at the national level, I know that's the path that most likely I'll need to revisit to get there.
And to get a pro card, do you really think 99% of the world can get it while being natural? Of course not. And so even with Just Merc genetics, which are far superior to 99.9% of the population, even he can't do it. And so whether or not he did that transformation 100% natural in the past, I don't care. I'm just happy he finally decided to come clean. Other guys like Christian Guzman, who claimed natural back in the day, continued to lie. Even last year when I made videos on Christian Guzman saying he's a fake natty, he doubled down. No, I bulked to get this way. And so many people are thinking, of course that's the answer. That Coach Greg, he's a moron. Thinks you can put on muscle while maintaining at a healthy body fat 15%. Not true. Look at Christian Guzman. The guy bulked up, put on a ton of muscle in his late 20s. But I do believe that Christian Guzman also decided to come clean. Kenny KO came up to him at the Olympia and said, are you natty or not? He thought for a minute, wasn't sure what to say, and said,
I am going for an IPP pro card and doing whatever I need to do to get it.
Leave it at that, yeah.
Yeah, keep it simple.
That is admitting it without telling people exactly what you're doing.
It was my 5-year natural transformation. I think shortly after that, I went into the bulk for the competition that was coming up at the end of the year.
And so you're watching the video and thinking, well, there it is. But then you continue to watch his journey, and you're seeing him get bigger, and you're thinking, well, he must still be natural. Well, just because he said he was natural for 5 years doesn't mean he's continuing to be natural. And today, you find out he isn't.
So I took that first cycle, and then that was about 8 weeks, 10 weeks, kind of estimating. And then I got ready for the cut, which was another 10 to 12 weeks.
And so he began his journey by doing a 10-week bulk cycle, followed by a 12-week cutting cycle. And he did these back to back in preparation for his national competition. And so essentially the main difference is that bulking steroids, they hold a lot of water, while cutting steroids, they do not. When you get on stage, you want to have a dry, ripped, and shredded appearance. And in comparison, when you're bulking up, you don't care about holding on to a ton of water. But the dangers, for the most part, they're about the same. Any steroids that you take, especially in higher doses, well, they have negative side effects that can occur to the body. We all know these: acne, gyno, liver, kidney damage, cardiovascular problems, including heart attacks.
So that was my first time cycling. Of course, I can't tell you exactly what protocol I took. My goal isn't to persuade you to take anything.
And so personally, I still believe that during that 5-year natural transformation, he likely still took some form of PD. My estimation would be a SARM, such as Osterine, but I just don't know. Perhaps he was 100% natural. But if he was, I would assume these are some of the best genetics we've ever seen. To go from 120 pounds to 180 in 5 short years, that is remarkable. But we'll never know. Only Just Merc himself knows whether he did this 100% natural or not.
I noticed I recovered more efficiently because I was doing more volume, sets, reps, and total weight used each workout.
And so here were the biggest difference between training natural versus training enhanced. The first one comes down to the training. While enhanced, he was able to lift heavier weights for more volume, more sets, and more reps. He was able to get recovered and therefore build a lot more muscle. Consider when you're training natural, it's as if you're trying to build a house and all you have is a single carpenter, and that is yourself. But when you're on PDs, it's as if you contracted an entire company. You got 10 or 20 carpenters all trying to build a house at the same time. And so you build that house way faster than last time, likely 10 times faster. And so if it took you 10 months to build a certain amount of muscle, you can probably do it in 1 month.
My diet is still, it's not like I took stuff and I could eat whatever I wanted to eat. I was still dieting honestly just as hard.
And diet-wise, well, there is no major difference other than the fact that you can eat more. But the suffering, it is the same. Whether you're natural or enhanced, you still have to eat in a calorie deficit. You cannot break the laws of thermodynamics.
In this house, we obey the laws of thermodynamics.
And so you might be thinking, yeah, but you get to eat more, so you won't be as hungry. Listen, what ultimately decides how hungry you are or how much energy you have is how low is your body fat percentage and what kind of a calorie deficit are you on. If two identical twins are both at 5% body fat and both in a 500 calorie deficit, does it really matter if one's eating 3,000 and one's eating 1,500? If you're both in the same deficit and both have very low body fat levels, you're both going to feel like garbage. And while on PDs, of course you can eat more. Nutrient partitioning will occur. What that means is a lot of the food that you're eating is being converted into muscle. And so what that does is the calories out of the equation goes up. And so because of that, you need more in order to compensate. If you don't, well, you are going to be starving. And so if you go from natural to enhanced, you don't change anything, expect to feel very hungry and to quickly lose body fat while building muscle. But it will come at the consequence of you will be starving. And because of that, you will be lowering your body fat. Increased ghrelin signaling will make you hungrier. And so taking PDs, it's not a secret. It's not the holy grail to helping you to burn fat. Of course, it's going to help you burn fat, but it will, of course, come at the expense of you being hungrier.
Taking pre-workout, post-workout, almost everything stayed the same. I did add when I was on the cycle were a kidney and liver support.
And what about supplements? Well, the main difference is he added in a liver kidney support. That is because with PDs, especially orals, it's going to play havoc on your kidneys and your liver. He describes his AST and ASL, those are liver enzymes, they were highly elevated. And so his liver was stressed and he was on a cycle for approximately 5 months. And that is a very long time, especially for a beginner.
I was taking care of that as best I could, or at least as best I knew how. While I was prepping for that show.
And so I caution you, please do not use PDs. And if you do so with the advice and consent from your doctor. Get your blood work done, keep monitored, and play safer than last time. And one supplement, everyone, I strongly recommend, whether you're natural or enhanced, GO2 Max. This will dramatically improve your cardio, make you faster, become a better butter burner. What that means, burn more calories in less length of time. You're going at a faster pace, you recover faster, and not only that, it increases NAD+, which is going to give anti-aging properties. It will ward off age-related illnesses, make you faster than last time, a better athlete, recover faster between sets, and so to me, it's a no-brainer. The main ingredient, NMN, has been shown in human clinical trials, double-blind, placebo, randomized trials. And so, no, it's not just some placebo effect. And no, it's not just shown in rats. In human studies, in the real world, this stuff can actually work for everyone. Looking to get any HGLT supplements, use code GREG, 10% off. Click the link in description.
This stage for me to turn pro at the national level, I know that's the path that most likely I'll need to revisit to get there.
And so because steroids are such a risk to him, he's trying to use the minimum amounts, but he does realize he's going to have to go on a large cycle to have a chance at getting enough size to win an IFBB Pro card. And so please, IFBB, if you're listening, add another division for guys that don't want to chase the size. Call it beach muscle division, call it the beach body division, something where you don't need so much size. It's gotten out of hand. Guys should be able to compete without having to abuse PDs. face, bigger isn't always better. Why not go for an aesthetic, smaller physique and stop having size as a main criteria?
So one, it gave me space for that, but two, it also made sure, okay, I could continue to do what I really love doing and not put my health at as much of a risk.
And so he's doing the smart thing. He's listening to his body and he's competing minimally because we all know it's not safe to abuse PEDs. Wishing Just Merc the best, really happy that he made this video, hoping that because he made this video, other YouTubers will feel more comfortable and come clean and tell us, hey, I've been using PEDs as well. The more honest and transparent YouTubers are, the better society will be. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment for the algorithm. Don't forget, if you're looking for the GO2 Max, use code Greg, 10% off. You can get the clothing line, the cookbooks, the training books, the Circle Diet book, coaching plans by me and my team, all of it. Code Greg, 10% off. Watch the Tube Loops. Follow me on Instagram, Greg Doucette IP Pro. And until next time, I'm out.